You disrespect God when you diminish your light and act like you're not who He called you to be. Child, let's talk about it. The word says humility is the fear of the Lord. Its wages are riches and honor and life. It's so funny how in this world that we're currently in, so many people insist on telling others to be humble. And what God has made so clear to me is that oftentimes when someone is insisting that another person be humble, what they're looking for is for that person to dim their light, for that person to not shine as bright as God has called them to. So to have humility is not to act like I'm less than because you want me to be less than. To have humility is to have fear of the Lord. And the wages that come from me having fear of the Lord is riches and honor and life. And so, no, I'm not going to dim my light because you're uncomfortable with how bright I shine. I'm going to continue to be who God has called me to be. Sometimes people think that others might think too highly of themselves. And it's like, no, I think just as highly of myself as I ought to. I think as highly of myself as God has called me to. That's a tactic of the enemy, to have people walking around with their head held low and not walking into rooms and being the light who God has called them to be. If we bear God's image, if we are made in God's image, why are we trying to retreat and hide who God has called us to be? So understand, it's not that you're walking around here and you're being braggadocious or you're acting as though you're better than anybody else, but the goal is to always be better than who you were yesterday. The goal is to always be closer to Christ than who you were yesterday. That is the objective. And so I'm not going to be fake humble to make you feel comfortable with the anointing that God has given me. I'm going to be and do everything God has called me to be and do. Humility is the fear of the Lord, not the fear of you. Who is you? You ain't nobody. I also want to read a few of the Proverbs in Proverbs 22 that were highlighted to me and that I just want to share for today. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Start children off the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. The generous will themselves be blessed, for they share their food with the poor. The eyes of the Lord keep watch over knowledge, but he frustrates the words of the unfaithful. So, as always, I implore you guys to read all of Proverbs 22. So, I want to leave you guys with this. Humility is the fear of the Lord. It is having reverence for God. And when you have reverence for God, you would never diminish who God has called you to be to make other people feel comfortable. That's the word.